Hello and welcome. My name is Deanne Day, and I'm a certified life coach, and I focus on helping my clients get more results. And one of the tools that I use, I'm going to do a recap of the power planning session that I held earlier today, but I use a planning tool with a lot of my clients to help them get more of the results. And this is what I'm going to share with you today. I'm also going to include some self-coaching prompts that you can use to help you think through different things that will inspire you to actually do the things that you plan to do. So this is some work that if you miss the event, you will be able to do this on your own time, no problem. The first thing I want to do is welcome you. And I want to ask you this question. What would your life look like if you always did everything that you planned? Just take a minute and just imagine what your life would be like if whenever you plan something, you did it. You planned something else and you did it. You planned to go to the gym 5 times a week and you did it. You planned to wake up early and go for a jog and you did it. You planned to write a book and you did it. You planned to start a business and you did it. You planned to save money and you did it. Like, what would your life look like if you did everything that you plan to do? Take a moment. I would spend time actually journaling the answer to that question and really thinking through it, because I feel like that the answer to that might inspire you to sit down, take time to actually plan, and also to follow through on that plan, even when you don't feel like it. Because just knowing that planning can pretty much lead to like a life that you will absolutely love, maybe your dream life, just by planning and following through. Like, I don't know, that just is doing a lot for me right now. And I'm really excited when I think about that question and the answer to it. And that planning is like the key, planning and doing some self-coaching and getting coached. So take time with that question and really answer it and really think through what your life would be like right now. I would be fluent in Spanish. I would own a beach house. I would be running my successful company, would no longer be at my day job. I would, I don't know, I would have a totally different life, but also I have achieved some of the things that I planned, but just not everything. So it's like I'm living part of my dream life, but I'm not all the way there. And so if I did everything that I planned, I'd be all the way there. So what I'm going to cover tonight a little bit is just the power of planning, which is basically like the benefits of planning. I'm going to have you do a to-do list download. And then also you will take time and actually schedule all of your tasks and everything that you need to do into your calendar. And I'm going to talk about overflow and the fact that you need to, when you plan, right, you need to plan, be prepared to have resistance, and then just do it anyway. So that's what I'm covering today. So I'm going to kick it off with the benefits or the power of planning. So first of all, when you plan in the way that I'm going to show you how to plan, everything gets done, right? Everything will get done and everything will have a space, a time and a space in your calendar or in your life to where it can be completed. And because everything will have its own space and you won't have to worry about when certain things are going to get done, you won't feel as stressed and you won't be as overwhelmed either, because everything has a space. You know when it's going to get done. You know when you're going to do it. You know exactly how much time you have to do it. You know, like everything that has to be included when it gets done. So that's going to relieve so much feelings of overwhelm, because overwhelm comes from when you're thinking of everything, like your mind is just running and it's just thinking of everything that needs to get done and it's all over the place and it's kind of confusing. But when you have it all written down and everything has its space, you don't have to have those feelings of overwhelm, those thoughts of confusion and like fear that you won't get it done. You don't have to deal with that. So this planning system also will help you to be fully present as well. And what I mean by that is, like, let's just say you are going for a walk. You like to go for a walk because it clears your mind. But when you're on that walk, your mind, if you haven't planned, your mind might be jumbled and thinking of everything that's not done and everything that you got to do when you get back. And you probably should shorten the walk because there's so many things that are just undone and you don't know when you're going to do them. So now you can't even enjoy the walk because you're so worried. But when everything is planned and everything has a time and a space, you don't have to do all of that worrying. You can literally go out and enjoy the walk. You can have a clear mind. You can like just enjoy the scenery. If you're walking your pet, you can just connect with your pet on another level instead of having your mind running. So you can be fully present. You can also be fully present when you're in your relationships. So if you're spending time with your kids or with your spouse, or if you're at work connecting with your coworkers, or if you're in a training, right, you can be fully present, and those relationships can strengthen because you're fully present, you're fully engaged with them, you're totally listening to what they're saying. Your mind is not wondering about what you have to do and if you're going to be able to get it done and what's the consequence if you don't get it done, and beating yourself up because you're behind, right? You can just be fully present and enjoy the time that you're spending, whether it's with your kids or with your spouse or a parent or whatever the case may be, a friend. Another thing is basically you'll live an organized life. It won't be chaotic. We know how that feels. It's not, it's like an unsettled feeling, right? We can live an organized, relaxed, calm life, and we'll be able to enjoy life more because we're not so worried all the time about how we're going to get everything done, right? So those are the benefits to planning. Before we jump into the planning, I also want to talk to you about the concept of like planning being related to your Jeep using a GPS. So I got this idea from Brooke Castillo at the Life Coach School. And the way she described it is that, like, a lot of times, you know, when we have a lot of things to do, like let's say we have a list of 20 things that we got to get done, right? What we naturally want to do is just go get started on the thing. We don't want to waste any time. We just want to start with the first thing on the list and just work our way down, right? But and we feel like if we don't start right away, then we're wasting time. Like if we sit down for an hour and try to plan out how we're going to get all of this stuff done, we might feel like that's a waste of time. I need to be getting stuff done, right? But that is comparable to needing to go to a specific destination. So let's just say you are going to go to Chicago and you're like, and you have to be there by tomorrow morning, right? And you just get in the car and you just go. But you didn't put the address in the GPS and you didn't get the directions that you needed. You just didn't want to waste any time and you knew it was going to take a long time to get there. And so you just started driving in the direction that you know Chicago is located. That will get you lost. You'll lose time because you might make wrong turns. You might come up on construction. You might end up at the wrong address, end up in the wrong city. You know what I mean? So, but when you put in that address, when you take those extra minutes or those extra moments and you type in the address in the GPS, and then you type in your address so that it knows where you're at, then it gives you a step-by-step guide of where to turn, how fast you should be going, when you're gonna arrive, if there's construction, if there's traffic, and what you should do if you get detoured, right? It gives you every step of the way, and you feel more confident in your ability to arrive at that destination. This is the same thing that planning does for you. When you plan out every step, when you're going to take each step, how long each step is going to take you to complete it, right? So that you can end up at your final destination, which will be your goal, right? This is why planning is kind of like, it's similar, it's comparable to using a GPS system. If you have things that you need to get done, you need to be planning so that you can get it all done, right? Without all of the chaos, without all of the stress, without all of the overwhelm. Okay. So consider that when it's time to sit down and plan and you don't feel like it, you don't want to, right? It's just like entering that address and the destination. Now, another question that I would like for you to take a moment to think about, and this is us getting into you planning for what you want to achieve in the upcoming week. So what do you want to get done, or what do you want to start working on this week? So if I were you, I would, if you have one specific task that you want to do, like you might have a goal of you want to finish reading a book, right? Or you want to make sure you work out 5 times a week, or you want to make sure you lose 2 pounds, or you want to make sure that you're interested in starting a business and you want to get started with that, or you want to start a podcast, or you want to start a blog, or whatever the case may be. What do you want to focus on this week? What are some things you want to focus on getting done this week? Write them all down. That's the first step, right? What you want to do. One of the main things that I want to get done this week is I want to clean my house. I want to do a deep cleaning in my house. So that's one thing that I want to get done. After you have taken the time to write what you want, then we'll move on to creating a to-do list download. And so basically what that is you writing a to-do list for each thing that you want to get done. For example, I said that I wanted to clean my house. So now I have to write all the steps, everything that I need to do in order to clean my house. So I don't need to buy cleaning supplies. I already have everything I need to clean. So that is great. So my list will include clean the kitchen, clean the bathroom, clean the bedroom, the living room, the office. I want to have my carpet cleaned, so I'll need to schedule an appointment. So my goal is to get someone scheduled to come out. They don't necessarily have to come out this week, but I at least want the appointment scheduled. And I want someone else to schedule to come out because I need some work done in one of my bathrooms. So that is another thing that's on my to-do list, is to make the phone call to schedule those folks to come out. So that is my to-do list for cleaning my house. Oh, and clean the floors. I need to make sure like to mop the floors that need to be cleaned. So that's my to-do list. So then what you do after you come up with your to-do list, right, for each thing that you want to get done, then you need to figure out how much time is it going to take you to complete each task, right? So to clean my kitchen, I'm going to say an hour. It's not going to take me an hour, but I just like to over budget my time. So that way, it's better to, when you're planning, to give yourself more time than what you need than to run out of time. And then it's on to the next thing and you can't do it because you're still doing this. So I'm going to give myself an hour to do the kitchen, an hour to do the bathroom, an hour to do the living room, right? And I'm going to clump those together in a 3-hour block that I'm going to get those 3 things done. So go through your list, determine how much time it's going to take you to complete all of the things, and then write that time next to the task, okay? Once you have identified the time it takes, then you're going to take all of those tasks and the times and you're going to calendar them. Okay, you want to put them into your calendar. Now, when you are calendaring, there are some things that you need to remember. You need to definitely include free time because you don't want to work yourself to death. You need to include breaks, right? And you need to figure out how much time do you want to have? How much space do you want to give yourself between each task? Do you want like a 15-minute break or a 30-minute break? Or are you going to like work a big chunk of time and then maybe take an hour? Like, how are you going to do it? But you got to include your free time or your breaks. Also, you got to remember, you got to eat. Eating takes up time. So you want to figure out when you're going to eat so that that is in the schedule. Any meetings you have or any regular occurrences. And what I mean by that is like, you know, if you're planning on for a task you want to do outside of a work, your regular occurrence at work might be, you might just block off a time from like 9 to 5 for you to get you're going to be at work during that time. So you'll block that in. Or if you have to take your kids to school every day, you have to block that in. Getting dressed every day, block that in. Meetings that occur, block those in. Just different things that you do. If you go to Bible study every week, block that in. So that you can plan around the things that you already are committed to doing. And then you want to plan an overflow, right? Overflow is you want to, like, let's just say it's time where if you don't get stuff done, you can get it done during that time. So let's just say you plan to be off on Saturday. Like, you're not going to do any work on the weekend. Saturday and Sunday is your day to relax and to enjoy life, and you're not going to do anything, right? But in order to actually have those days and have your free time, you need to finish the stuff on your calendar, right? So if you don't, like, for instance, if I don't finish cleaning my house on the days that I set to clean it, right? And then I have other, you know, like I'm planning to clean my house on Monday and Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I have other things on the schedule. If I don't finish cleaning my house on Monday and Tuesday, then I'll have to start looking at maybe cleaning my house on Saturday and Sunday, which I have blocked off as free time. But it's also overflow time. It's time to where if I don't get stuff done in the week, that I have a space for it later in the week to get it done. So that's what overflow time is. It's kind of like incentive because you want to get the things done so you can have your free time. But if for some reason things don't work out and you're not able to, you still have time on your calendar to where you can get some things done. And then also plan with compassion. And what I mean by that is, okay, you're going to sit down and you're going to make your plan right now, right? But then you or your future self is the one that has to do everything that you plan. So plan to be compassionate for your future self. Don't book your future self all up with all these different tasks to do back to back to back to back to back with no breaks, and they got to keep going and pushing themselves. That is going to be hard. So you need to consider what is going to be doable, what is going to be comfortable, what's realistic, what type of breaks will you need. Be compassionate for the future self or the future you that has to go out and follow this plan. Try not to cram it, okay? Try to make it doable, try to make it enjoyable, try to make it realistic, make sure you give yourself enough time. Yeah, so that's what I mean by planning with compassion, okay? So, and then after you get it all done, right? And take your time with this whole process. I would say I would give myself at least like an hour. You don't want to rush through it because when you rush through, then you start forgetting stuff. And then if you forget stuff and then you got to go back and adjust your planner, that can be a hassle. So really just give yourself maybe like a good hour to do this so you can really think through everything that needs to be done, make sure everything's included on the list, put it on the calendar. Um, and I want to tell you, while you're going through this process of creating the list, you probably will find that you feel a little bit of overwhelm, but that is because you have a list of all these tasks that need to be getting done. And it's like, it just feels so overwhelming, like, oh my God, I don't have enough time. How am I ever going to get this done? But once you put it in the calendar and once it has a space, then that feeling of overwhelm will be released. So just know that this process will cause you to feel overwhelmed at first, but then by the time you finish, you'll feel relieved and you'll feel like that this is possible and you can do it. Yeah, so check in to see how you're feeling, right? Once you have your calendar completed, is it doable? Does it feel like it's going to be too difficult? Like, how do you feel about your calendar? Then the next thing I want you to do, the next step is just to do the stuff, right? So you plan the calendar. This is the process for success. You plan, and then you're going to have resistance to that plan. So when it comes time for you to do the thing, so I'm supposed to start cleaning tomorrow at 8. Okay, tomorrow at 8, I'm probably not going to want to feel like it. I'm probably going to want to lay down or lay around or relax or try to enjoy myself a little bit or watch TV or whatever. I'm not going to want to clean. I'm going to be resistant to that. And that is okay. That is part of the process. Expect to feel resistance when it's time to do the task that you scheduled. It's okay. Do it anyway. You're going to feel the resistance, expect it, but then do it anyway. Don't let it stop you. Just because you don't feel like doing something doesn't mean that's a pass to not do it. You don't have to feel like doing something to do it, right? Like there's a lot of times we go to work, we don't feel like going to work, but guess what? We show up every day, majority of the time, right? You don't just go to work when you feel like it. It doesn't matter. Just do it anyway and know that there's going to be resistance. And it's okay that you're having that resistance. Just be like, oh, this is just part of the process. And then just keep going. Okay. Another thing I want to offer you, because I know that there's resistance, is I want to offer you some self-coaching prompts, some writing prompts, right? And these are some things that you can do if you find yourself in resistance, if you find that you're not progressing, or if you want to do it just to keep you from, so that you can progress and so that you can avoid being in resistance, okay? The questions are, what action can I take in this moment that will help me get closer to my goal? Okay, so if you're being resistant and you're thinking about the overall goal or the overall dream that you're trying to achieve, what is the action that you can take right now that's going to help you get there? Another question is, what can I do today or to make this task enjoyable? So what can I do to make today more enjoyable or to make this task more enjoyable? So like for me, tomorrow I have to get up at 8 and clean. And I know I'm not going to want to, but what can I do to make it more enjoyable? I can play my favorite songs. I can play music. I can listen to a podcast while I'm cleaning, or I can listen to like something motivational that inspires me. Like there are certain things that you can do to make the task more enjoyable. So think about that. How can I make this more enjoyable? Another question is, what will my life be like if I do everything I plan? That's the question I asked in the beginning, but that's also a question I'm including in these prompts too, because that's something to think about. When you're in the middle of not wanting to do what you planned and you're like, but what will my life be like if I did everything that I planned? And then that might motivate you to do it because you're thinking like, all I got to do is what I plan, and then I can live the life that I want. Okay. Another question is, how will I benefit from completing this task as planned? Like, what is the benefit of completing the task? How are you going to benefit if you complete it right now? Just like the plan says. And then what did you learn? Or what am I learning about myself? Or what am I noticing about myself, right, during this process? So those are just some questions that you can answer that can kind of help keep you on track with following your plan, because I know that creating the plan isn't the big struggle. The struggle is actually following through on it. And I definitely get that. So those coaching prompts should help you. Um, there's also the opportunity to come back. I'm doing this over the course of several weeks. So come to the events and check in, create the plans, check in, let us know how you're doing. I'm offering accountability. So if you feel like you need support with this, come to the events. Go to coachingdaydreams.com to sign up. And different ways that you can stay connected with me or work with me if you're interested is by attending the Life Coach Live events. Those are free. Those are typically free events. I'm doing a series called Power Planning Sessions, which this is the video for the very first one. So you can come to those events. You can get more information about those events on my website, coachingdaydreams.com. I also am a life coach, as I mentioned before, and I do one-on-one private coaching sessions. So if you were interested in connecting with a life coach, if you want a life coach, I encourage you to visit my website as well, because I am offering one free coaching session. So if you're curious about what life coaching is like, or if you just have a topic that you want to get coached on really quick, I encourage you to sign up for a coaching session with me. You qualify if you have not had a free coaching session from me within the last 90 days, then you qualify to sign up for one of the free ones and try it out. And other than that, thank you for watching. I hope that this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. You can email me at coachingdaydreams@gmail.com. You can email me, or you can comment on the video and I will respond. But hopefully I'll see you at one of the sessions, and good night. And I just want to introduce you to Callie. She's been scratching at me. I think she needs to go out, but I'll have her say hi, but she don't know where the camera is. All right, good night.